training is like this. Like, I know that I'm the queen of analogies, but bear with me. This is like the easiest way for me to communicate how my systems are going to work for you. So think about like, instead of a roofing company in Austin, you decided that there's a huge market for cakes and your grandma makes the best cherry cake on the planet. And you're like, okay, grandma, there's a huge market. I'm going to make a business. This is how I'm going to get rich and retire. Tell me, like, can you show me how you make your cake? And she's like, yes. And she gets in the kitchen and she just starts dumping shit in a bowl. And you're like, whoa, what's going on here? She doesn't actually have a recipe. She literally does not know the measurements. She's like, I don't know, about like this, how it should look, or this consistency. She can't write it down. She just knows how to do it. And then at the end, she has this cake and she goes, your turn. And you're like, what? How was that a half a tablespoon or a half a teaspoon of baking soda, or was that baking powder? How many cups of flour was that? Was it 2 or 6? I literally don't know.
Yeah.
So my point is, without a recipe on paper, baking a cake literally feels like college chemistry, rocket science, right?
Sure. Yeah.
With recipe on paper, it's Betty Crocker's box of cake mix. Anybody can do it. Right? So it's
definitely 100%.
Cake does not change. The cake isn't harder or easier. The cake is the same. It's the recipe makes it easy bake oven. So again, we want it to be not, do you know how to bake? It's, do you know how to read? Because then it doesn't matter who you really hire. And I'm exaggerating a little bit. Obviously it matters who you hire still. But when you bring people in, anybody can bake the cake because the recipe is simple. We're not leaving it up to them to watch you and watch and learn and all that stuff, right? Okay.
Definitely.
So roof sales is the same. This is literally the easiest sale that there is. If you can show me something easier than practically giving roofs away to people who already need them, I will give you $1 million. Like, show me something easier than this. Okay. But in the same way that a cake is simple if you have the recipe, it feels like rocket science to people to try to figure this stuff out if we don't have their SOPs for, hey, here's exactly the job cycle. Here's exactly what you say at the door. Here's exactly the type of objections you might get. Here's exactly what to say. Here's your word for word sales presentation and verbatim the closing line. When we give them that, anybody can do it. It will shock you, the people that can do this job. And that makes hiring easier. Hiring then becomes way simpler because we're not having to target the Michael Jordans and LeBron Jameses of sales to be able to figure out this crazy job. We can take the average Joe who has 2 brain cells to rub together. We hand them the recipe and they can make the cake, right? So,
sure.
So that's what we're going to be doing. All right. So training looks like this.